This always happens when we talk, right? We're talking,
Yes.
and then suddenly you
Suddenly.
think I'm attacking you, right? And then you do this thing where you look away,
Honestly,
look at the
it's
crowd.
just so bizarre. Like, I'm literally saying to you
Okay,
about your...
can we restart?
I'm literally saying to you about your behavior. It changes depending on who you're speaking to
Absolutely.
and how the conversation is going.
Yes.
And I'm saying to you, when you spoke to Hijab, it seemed like you was a lot more humbled. And now your posture, even your body language, everything is different. It's humbled.
Did you watch the entire debate by any chance?
I watched enough of it to understand
All right.
that you met somebody who not only could articulate themselves properly, but whose body language, whose communication skills were not only your equal or better than yours, and it humbled you because he was able to answer all your questions.
He couldn't.
And he came to you with a question that you couldn't even answer.
I did.
No, you didn't.
So, okay. So, if we're doing like a post-hijab review, we can do that. I was chilling on a fence with Mark, okay? So, I was literally leaning on a fence like this. I stayed leaning pretty much the whole conversation, right? So, if my body language was different, yes, I was relaxing. Normally, when you talk to me, I'm standing up, okay? Secondly, when it came to hijab being my equal and answering all my questions, if he had answered all my questions, I would have said, fine, you answered them. But ultimately, the question I posed about if Allah is a moral monster or not, because it seems that in Islam, Allah writes down all the bad things you will do, and you have no choice but to actually do those things. So that's like called like fatalism, like what the Greeks used to believe, right? That everything that happens to you is by the will of the gods. So if you marry your mother and kill your father, like with Oedipus, oh, the gods willed it.
No, I think it's clear in Islam that there's free will. God gives us free will. But after the event has happened, that is exactly as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordained it to happen. Is that a distinguishable difference to you?
Yes, so
that's it. He gave you that answer pertaining to that.
Right.
Not exactly what he said, word for word verbatim. Then he asked you a question, which you were not able to answer.
I did answer it.
Let me speak. Rather than answer it, it was clear that you weren't comfortable with the question.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he asked me that but before we move on to that other one, I told him about this Islamic fatalism, right? Where basically you have no free will, there is no morality because Allah just writes everything, right? So everything you do, right? You have no choice over it. Allah wrote it for you. So Allah's like a puppet master.
Free will, though, doesn't
Well,
it?
that means you guys don't have it.
Yes or no?
It does. So
The statement that you made goes against the
right?
nature of free will.
Yes.
Which is clear in Islam. Yes or no?
I don't know about that actually. Where is it clear in Islam that we have free will?
Why you didn't ask him that?
Huh?
Why you didn't ask him that?
Because essentially that was my question.
Listen to this. Listen to this. You're asking questions now.
Yeah. No, but you made a statement, right? Hijab didn't say that.
Let me explain. He was clear to you about his answers. But the question you just asked me now, why you didn't ask him that?
Because he didn't make that claim. What he was saying, if you watch the video, was that in Christianity, there are some thoughts on predestination, right? And that he agrees with one of them called compatibilism, where Allah's will and our will, Allah's universal will, and our actions line up at certain points, right?
After they've happened.
Well, sure, like they happen for us, but Allah has already known about these things beforehand because He wrote them down.
After they've, yes, obviously He knows beforehand. But
my issue,
after it's happened, he can claim that is Allah's will.
Right.
Yes or no?
But my issue with that, sure thing.
Yeah.
But here's the issue with
the
that.
person still has free will.
Okay, they don't have free will.
Come on.
Can I show you the hadith and we can read it together? Yeah. So I couldn't find it.
What is shahada?
Huh?
What is shahada?
It's a proclamation of faith.
And did people have free will to choose?
I'm going to say no in Islam. No.
Oh, bro, you're crazy,
so
you're taking the conversation somewhere it doesn't
in the
need to
Christian
go.
perspective,
It's impossible for you to state that.
in the Christian perspective, right? Sure, they have free will. But in Islam, let me show you why I say they don't have free will.
Listen, let me say firstly, congratulations on your new persona.
Which is what?
Because it's a lot more listen, hear, speak. I prefer that.
I was doing the same thing. Go watch
but
it.
It had to take you getting admonished by one of the brothers before you got there.
Absolutely not, man.
Oh, bro.
If you didn't watch the entire video, then you can't really say that. But I mean, if you say so,
Listen,
go
the
for
parts
it.
of your character are very likable. And all
You
I'm doing is
see that
giving
before?
you due diligence. Bro.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
So, if we look, for example, at this hadith here
Yeah.
concerning the idea of predestination, right? You tell me what you take from this.
These are questions that you need to ask the brother Hijab.
No, and that was
What are you
the
doing?
very question I asked him. That was the very question I asked him, right? The hadith concerning you during the deeds of the people of paradise.
Let me go and find brother Hijab. You come and answer to me.
Well, it was the same question. If you can find him, go ahead.
I'll
But
go now. I'll go
I
now.
think you need to see it for yourself, actually.
I prefer, all I was coming to tell you is I prefer this version of you.
Well, if you think so, but I would say if you feel like this version of me, right,
Yeah.
then don't go watch the whole debate, because unfortunately the version you don't like comes out towards the end. So, you know, am I missing this thing again? Mark, by any chance, do you have that predestination verse that we looked at, the Bukhari one?
What, the Moses and
No, the one about doing the deeds of the people of paradise until your hand span away. Because I literally should have this in my notes, but I keep missing it somehow.
Brother, listen,
Yep.
I'm going to go and have a listen to some conversation.
I would
So
say
listen.
before
It's a
you
pleasure to see
before you go,
You too as well.
give me 2 minutes, right? I say look at this and see it.
Opportunity.
No. I mean, what? Oh, there it is. Wait, I've got it here for you, Khan. Khan. Oh, Khan, please come back. I've got it for you. Please come back. Let me show you something. All right, fair enough.
what is it?
Huh? This is Sahih Muslim 2643. So, my favorite part of this is towards the end, right? So, by him who besides whom there is no God, that one amongst you acts like the people deserving paradise, until between him and paradise there remains but a distance of a cubit, when suddenly the writing of destiny overcomes him, and he begins to act like the denizens, the people of hell, and thus enters hell. And another one acts in the way of the denizens of hell until there remains between him and hell a distance of a cubit, that the writings of destiny overcomes him, and then he begins to act like the people of paradise and enters paradise. So this means that you don't have any free will in
So
Islam.
it's like it changes. So your
Yeah.
destiny changes. Like it doesn't matter what you do. Your destiny just changes
Yeah,
based on.
yeah,
what's
but based upon what Allah has, and actually the part before this, right?
Yeah.
So it is verily your creation is on this wise. The constituents of the one of you are collected for 40 days in your mother's womb in the form of blood. So what makes you up basically is connected to the 40 days of blood. After which it becomes a clot of blood in another period of 40 days. So now when 80 days, I guess, right? Then it becomes a lump of flesh, and 40 days later Allah sends his angels to it with instructions concerning 4 things. So the angels writes down his livelihood, his death, his deeds,
His
his
already.
fortune
Yeah.
and misfortune.
Yeah.
And then you go into the part of like the predestination part.
Okay. Yeah.
So effectively, your life and death, deeds, fortunes, and misfortunes.
So if your deeds are already calculated, it doesn't
there's
matter.
no morality.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, if
It's
you
just gonna get
if you
balanced
kill
out
me
at the end or whatever.
what basically if you kill me today, it's not because you wanted to. Allah told you to do it.
Yeah. So in your last breath, you could just commit loads of good or bad deeds, basically. Sitting there.
Based upon what Allah has sent His angels to write for you on day 120.
In those instructions to the angels.
Yes. Yeah. So now, not only is Allah a moral monster in that if we can attribute every evil action in the world to Allah, because without Allah, these actions would not be here.
Yeah.
So basically, think of the worst thing ever. Think of like Genghis Khan. He had no choice in Islam but to go and massacre people across Asia. Hitler had no choice in Islam but to go and start World War II, kill a bunch of Europeans, kill a bunch of European Jews, kill a bunch of Africans, everything. Hitler couldn't do anything but.
So that hadith is saying it's Allah's instructions.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Allah already deemed that Hitler would do what he did before Hitler was born.
Okay. Yeah.
And the same lies for me and you if you believe in this idea. This is like
that
this
we
is,
just reject it, basically.
Yeah.
Like Allah's instructed us to reject it.
Yep. So the reason you're a Christian and I'm a Christian
yeah.
is because Allah wrote that we were Christians.
Yeah.
So you can't pick, only Allah can. So it's fatalism. It's no different from what the Greeks believed, right? Like Perseus had no choice but to do what he did because the gods like wrote it out for him. So even if he tried to change destiny, he couldn't do it. Odysseus couldn't do the same thing. Prometheus couldn't do the same thing. When it even came to like the Olympian gods, even they were subject to faith. So whatever was the actions they would actually do, they couldn't help but be subjected to like what faith had in store for them. So if Kronos was told by the fates that one of his kids would kill him, and so as a result he started to eat all of his kids except for one, which came and killed him, it was actually by him trying to avert what fate had for him that would cause him to be killed. And that's the same thing in Islam, it seems. But hey, come to Christ, leave Islam, man.